guys, Billy D here. North American Sports Report on Thursday, April 23rd, 10 minutes to 7 p.m. on the East Coast, New England. From our studio here in Monroe, Connecticut. NFL draft coverage, guys. That's what we got for you tonight. We got to get on. The draft is at 8 o'clock Eastern. So we have got to come on here and we have got to go through our projected draft order. We're going to look at a few. I've heard a lot of different prognostications from Mel Kiper, Colin Cowherd, and ESPN. I'm going to take a look at some of the stuff and see where the chips may fall. Give you my opinion a little bit. We're going to go over some more of the NHL and NBA playoffs. I got some chat messages from our hockey talk I'm going to get to. First, let's go over the draft. So tonight, from Pittsburgh, the NFL draft. Speaking of Pittsburgh, the Steelers still do not have confirmation on whether Aaron Rodgers is coming back or not. That's got to be so annoying if you're a Pittsburgh fan. I mean, Rodgers is such a freaking diva. Like, why doesn't he just come clean on what he's doing? Why does he always have to wait till the last moment? That's Aaron Rodgers for you. Guy's a freaking douchebag. I'm sorry. Anywho, we do know with the first pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select quarterback from Indiana, Fernando Mendoza. That you can lock in. You can lock it in. Lock it up. Now, most of these projections are going to be like, devoid of any trade information. So I don't know if some teams are going to try to trade up or trade down to compile more picks, but we're just going to look at it as it's laid out. So we know Mendoza's going to the Raiders, and that's a great pick for the Raiders. Finally, there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel for the Raiders. You ended up retaining Crosby. That's a good thing. And you're going to have a franchise quarterback. You got Tom Brady assisting in running things down. You got a bright young offensive mind in Kubiak at head coach. So Mendoza to the Raiders. Number two, the biggest disaster of a franchise, the New York Jets. ESPN and Colin Cowherd had him picking David Bailey, edge rusher from Texas Tech. I think that's a quality pick. And with that, the other fantastic edge rusher, Arbel Reese from Ohio State, will then probably go to the Arizona Cardinals at number 3. Would be another excellent pick. The Tennessee Titans picking number 4, and by all indications, they're going to get Cam Ward some help, and they are going to go running back with the fantastic running back from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love. That's what we're looking at for, and I'm in line with these 4 picks as well. The New York Giants. I've been meaning to talk to you Giant fans. Some of my Cowboy buddies to get on me because I am in step with my buddy Colin from the Herd here. That is his surprise team this year. And I agree with him. The Giants are going to be my comeback team. Last year it was the Patriots. The year before it was, Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders snuck up on everybody. Obviously last year the Patriots Super Bowl run. This year I think the surprise team is going to be the New York Giants. Now I'm not saying the Giants are going to be a championship contender or anything like that, but I think the Giants are going to have a winning record, and I think the Giants are going to grab a wild card spot. I think they're in great shape with their coach, John Harbaugh. I think they're in great shape with Jackson Dart at quarterback, providing Jackson Dart learns how to run out of bounds, slide, and stays out of the blue tent. But the Giants making that trade, sending Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals, it was gold. Guy didn't want to be here. You got another first-round draft pick. Now the Giants are picking 5th and 10th. 5th and 10th for the Giants. Now, there are some differing opinions. Some think they're going to go Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, and get Dart another weapon. I do not think that that's what they're going to do. I actually think that the Giants are going to get... I think the Giants are going to get either Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. With one of those two picks, with the 5th or 10th pick, I think the Giants are going to get one defensive stud. I could see them getting safety Caleb Downs from Ohio State, or I could see them getting Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle from the University of Miami, at 5 to bolster the protection for Mr. Jackson Dart. And then at 10, get either Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles. They're going to get one of the two big-time defensive players. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to get one of the two big-time defensive players from Ohio State, either linebacker Sonny Styles or safety Caleb Downs, and I think they're going to get some offensive line help. Mauigoa, to me, is the best offensive lineman in the first round, or maybe the tackle from Utah. We'll get to that in a second. So that's what I have for the Giants at 5 and 10. Cleveland Browns at 6. I think they're also going to grab an offensive lineman. I think that they're going to get Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle from Utah. Those are the two best offensive linemen. Fano from Utah, offensive tackle, and Mauigoa from Miami, who could actually play guard or tackle if you want him to. So that is what I think the Browns are going to do at 6. At 7, the Commanders will take the guy the Giants don't take. So if the Giants end up taking the offensive lineman and Sonny Styles, the Commanders will take the safety and Downs. If the Giants take Downs, the Commanders will take Styles. At 8, the New Orleans Saints, they're going to get their young quarterback some help. They're going to draft Carnell Tate, wide receiver from Ohio State. At 9, listen, the Chiefs, we know what their weaknesses were. They needed a running back. They got the MVP of the Super Bowl. They got Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks in a great free agent move. They need help. They need to regenerate that pass rush on the D-line, and they also need offensive line help. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to grab edge rusher Ruben Bain from the University of Miami at 9. We already went over what the Giants are getting at 10. They're going to take an offensive lineman, and they're going to take either Downs or Styles, which will be great. The Giants are going to get a stud defensive player, and they're going to get a stud offensive lineman. They might not take Mauigoa. They might take the kid from Utah, and then Mauigoa could go to Cleveland. Okay. So, 11, the Miami Dolphins. I have the Miami Dolphins with their defensive-minded coach. I have the Miami Dolphins. They need to replenish their weapons. Now here it has them taking Mansour Delane, corner LSU. I actually think the Dallas Cowboys are going to pick Delane from LSU at 12 because I think the guys that the Cowboys really want, Downs and Styles, will be gone already. So I think Delane's going to Dallas at 12. If somehow the Chiefs don't draft Ruben Bain, the Dolphins will grab him at 11. I think the Dolphins need some offensive help. They just, let go of all their weapons. I think the Dolphins are going to grab Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver, USC, at 12. They need a lot of players. I think the Amari Cooper Jr. from Indiana is going to go to the Rams at 13. At 14, the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to get some offensive line help for Lamar Jackson. I like them to take, I cannot say this name, it's the guard from Penn State, Ione, I think. It's the guard from Penn State, 14. I have him going to the Ravens. At 15, wow, I don't see him going this high. ESPN has Tampa Bay selecting University of Miami edge rusher Akeem Mesidor. I have Mesidor. Mesidor's great. He's got some injury concerns, and he's going to be a rookie at 25 years old. So you think you're drafting a guy that maybe is going to have 6 peak years in the NFL, maybe 7 if you're lucky. Once these defensive linemen, they play these bruising positions, these offensive and defensive linemen, when they hit 32, they're on the back end. So maybe you get 7 years out of Mesidor, which drops him in the draft in my eyes. I still think he's a first round, at worst, early second round pick. Tampa Bay 15 says Mesidor edge rusher. Okay. The New York Jets at 16. The Jets need weapons in the worst way. And honestly, I don't know who the Jets are going to get because I believe the USC kid's going to be gone by then. Denzel Boston, the wide receiver from Washington, is the next on the list. If not, maybe look for the Jets to get bolster their offensive line. What they should do is they should grab Gerard McCoy, the corner from Tennessee, because the Jets didn't get a dang interception all last year. That's what I would do if I were the Jets. I'd get McCoy from Tennessee at 16. 17, the Detroit Lions are going to get Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. I see 3 different prognostications. Minnesota Vikings says here that they are going to be looking for... Now, I have Thieneman going to Dallas because I don't think that the Cowboys are going to... I don't think the Cowboys are going to be around for the guy they want, Styles. So I have Kedrick Falk, edge rusher from Auburn, going to Minnesota at 18 to bolster the Minnesota defense. Carolina Panthers, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon at 19. Now the Dallas Cowboys at 20. At 20. If he's still available, they'll grab another defensive player, Gerard McCoy, Tennessee. Otherwise, if somehow Mesidor slips, that would be a perfect pick. They get Thiemann from Oregon as a defensive back, and Mesidor at 20. Dallas Cowboy fans, you would be through the roof if that happens. Through the roof. If Falk, the edge rusher from Auburn's available, I could see Dallas getting him as well. Cowboys need to draft all defense here. I don't think they want Styles and Downs. I don't think they're going to be around. I think the Cowboys are going to draft Dylan Thieneman, the safety from Oregon. I think that is going to be the Dallas Cowboys' first pick at 12. And I think they're going to get an edge rusher, either Falk or Mesidor at 20, because I think one of them will still be around. If not, they'll grab another corner in McCoy. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to try to improve their run game and protect whatever quarterback it is that they pick. Monroe Freeling, the offensive tackle of Georgia, at 21. But if they do not get any confirmation on Aaron Rodgers, and we don't know, they may have it or they may not. We don't know yet. I could see the Pittsburgh Steelers drafting Ty Simpson, the second quarterback, and it's really only a 1-quarterback draft. Mendoza's the only guy you feel good about. Simpson could be a project. Simpson would also be great if he went to the Rams and could work under Stafford and the genius McVay as a guy that's, I think that Stafford's going to play at least 1, but maybe even 2 more years. Simpson would be great to learn under them. So if there is another quarterback picked in the first round, I could see the Rams trading down and taking Simpson, or I could see him going to the Steelers because they may not have a quarterback and they may need him. The Chargers at 22, they're going to pick a defensive player. I don't know who's going to be left by then. Emmanuel McNeil, the safety from Toledo, is on the board. The Chargers are going to be looking for a defensive back. At 23, the Eagles will take Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson, to get Jalen Hurts, some help there on the O-line because it has thinned out a little over the last couple of years. Notice their tush-push not quite as effective. At 24, the Browns will look to add a weapon. Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington, if he's still on the board. If not, look for them to get Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver from Texas A&M. 25, the Chicago Bears. Everybody has them getting Caleb Lomu, awesome offensive tackle, Utah. Let's see here. They have a projected trade here. Cardinals making a deal with Texans to move back into round 1. Wow. And they have the Cardinals trading with the freaking Texans to get another pick in the round 1, and they have the Cardinals picking Ty Simpson at 28. Boy, that's a project for a team that has missed on quarterback so many times. 29th, Chiefs, here it says Chris Johnson, cornerback, San Diego State. Just what the Chiefs need to bolster their defense. We know they're going to get a rush in. I think they're going to get Ruben Bain. They already got Kenneth Walker free agency to address their run game, and now more defensive help. Chris Johnson at 29, the corner from San Diego State. The Dolphins at 30 are projected to get Colton Hood, corner from Tennessee. The New England Patriots at 31. Bolster that offensive line. They so desperately need to do that. Obviously, Drake May took a little bit of a beating in the playoffs. Offensive tackle Max Thinacore, Arizona State. Max Thinacore, offensive tackle at 31. And at 32, Malachi Lawrence, edge rusher, Central Florida for the world champion Seattle Seahawks. Now we got to double back because we did not give you 26 and 27. Buffalo Bills are looking for a wide receiver. They like Casey Concepcion, but I feel he could already be gone to Cleveland. The San Francisco 49ers like Emmanuel McNeil, the safety from Toledo, if he is still on the board. I just don't know if those guys are going to be available. Like I said, Houston's going to trade out, they're saying, and the Cardinals will grab another pick and try to swipe Ty Simpson. I think he could go to the Steelers, to be honest with you. The Niners are on their board. They like Emmanuel McNeil, safety from Toledo. Again, I think he might be gone at 27 already. And at 26, the Buffalo Bills, they like Casey Concepcion from A&M, but I also feel he might be gone already. I got to check and see. Maybe Denzel Boston. No, I have Boston actually going to Cleveland at 24. Denzel Boston from Washington. And I have Casey Concepcion. I have Casey Concepcion going to the 49ers at 27. Okay, Chiefs, we said Chris Johnson, the corner for San Diego State. Colton Hood, the corner from Tennessee, to the Miami Dolphins at 30. Max Thinacore, offensive tackle, Arizona State, going to the Patriots, 31. And edge rusher Malachi Lawrence from Central Florida to the Seahawks at 32. So I differ with some of the picks that, Kuiper, Colin, but I do agree with some of them where I think that there's a chance that Ty Simpson could go earlier to the Steelers. I think that could be a story. I definitely think the Giants are going to go O-line and then either Styles or Downs with their 5 and 10, and I think those will be great ads to bolster the Giants. Giants do need a weapon, but you can get a good wide receiver in the second round. Also remember the Giants are having they'll have their top wide receiver back who missed the season last year with the knee injury. I also think that Ruben Bain will go to the Chiefs at 9. That'll be a big story because they need defensive end help. If they don't pick him, the Dolphins will salivate to get Ruben Bain staying at home at 11. We know Mendoza's going 1. We know the Jets are going to get an edge rusher. 2 with Bailey. I think definitely Arizona will get an edge rusher with Arvell Reese at 3. And I'm really confident in those first 3 and 4 picks with Jeremiah Love going to Tennessee. Like, I'm really confident with those first 4. I think you could lock those in. Mendoza, Bailey, Reese, and Love with your first 4 picks in the draft. So we'll see. 8 o'clock tonight. Check it out. Okay. We're going to get to the chat. I got some questions I gotta answer. Sabres and Bruins have just dropped the puck at TD Garden. That's underway. At 7:30, we have the Carolina Hurricanes at Ottawa. That series is 2-0 Hurricanes. Obviously, we know the Sabres took Game 2 the Bruins took Game 2 in Buffalo. That series is tied at 1 now with the Bruins grabbing the home ice and trying to keep it tonight at TD Bank Garden. That game, as I said, is underway right now. Canes up 2-0 at Ottawa. Avalanche up 2-0 at LA tonight, 10 p.m. Those are the only 3 games in the NHL playoffs tonight. I got to get to my chat. So I was talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning and yesterday, and the Lightning were my pick and are my pick to win the Eastern Conference. I had some people chiming in. I was kind of saying or insinuating that the Lightning have garnered some toughness from their battles with the Panthers these last few years, and they've got guys with size. Brad from St. Petersburg came on my chat. I also had a Dan from Clearwater said I referred to J.J. Mosier as Simon. I did. I said Simon once, but I quickly corrected myself. J.J. Mosier scored the game winner to beat the Canadians in Game 2, 3-2, and I said Mosier. I did call him Simon once. I don't know. I had a brain aneurysm. There is a Simon, a defenseman on some other team. I don't know. Must have been in my head, but I did say J.J. Mosier won the game in overtime, so I did correct myself. Dan from Clearwater. Brad from St. Petersburg said that he disagrees with me. He says that the Lightning, in their cup runs in the early 2020s, where they went to 3 cups and won 2 of them, he said with guys like Gaudreau, Killorn, Palat, and Maroon, they had a toughness that they no longer have. I disagree. I mean, you had Hagel on that team too, and he's still on the team. You had Radish on that team, who's a big boy, a defenseman. You had Gord on that team. You still have him. You did lose Gaudreau, okay. Killorn is now on the Ducks. Palat's on the Islanders. Maroon retired. I get that, but I think they've done a nice job of replacing those guys. It took a little while for them to garner the seasoning. Let me take a look here at the Lightning roster and tell you what I mean. And I agree, those guys were all big-time intangible bangers. I agree. Those guys were integral parts in their cup runs. Gaudreau, Killorn, Palat, Maroon. I actually coached Pat Maroon, believe it or not, in professional inline hockey when he was a kid. I know Pat Maroon. He's a great kid. I know his brother, too. Okay. Now, Gergensen, Geeky, and Goncalves. Okay, Gergensen and Goncalves, they were just rookies when they got smacked around by the Panthers. These guys are 6'3 and 6'2", 200 pounds. They got size, and they're developing. You still have Yanni Gord. You still have Hagel. He's a psychopath. You've got, I think you still have Cirelli. Young Connor Geeky's an excellent player. He's 6'4", 220. So with guys like Geeky and Gergensen and Goncalves, your third and fourth line guys, you're 6'4", you're 6'3". You got size. And then and then you got Corey Perry back. Nick Paul is still around. Nick Paul's 6'4", 235. He was on your team back when you were winning cups. I think the young guys have developed where they know the playoff game now. They can bang out the rough stuff, but also contribute on the score sheet. I think these guys have come of age. That was my point. You know, you've got enough. Scott Saberin's a big boy. And on defense, you got some big guys. I mean, you got McDonough back. McDonough's a little older now, but I mean, J.J. Mosier is fucking 6'2", 190, excuse my language. Radish is 6'1", 210. And these guys have all played great. Dastow, who you brought up from your AHL team, he's 6'2", 215. They've got good size. And I think, like I said, those battles against the Panthers the last couple of years, I think has given the Lightning the toughness back that they had when they had the aforementioned Killorn, Palat, Gaudreau, Maroon. And they're younger. I think that you're going to be okay there, Lightning fans. And obviously you got major skill on the top end with Kucherov and Point. And, you know, obviously Kucherov, Point, Getzel, and Hagel can fight and score. I mean, I love Brandon Hagel. Watching him one-punch Slafkowski, that was freaking great. I mean, he knocked him right out. Well, not out. He did pop right up, but he got punched hard right in the face and went down as soon as he got punched. Gotta love. Brandon Hagel's a guy that you hate if he's on the other team and you love him if he's on your team. So that responds to my chats about the Lightning. I think you guys know where I'm coming from with them. I think some of their young players now, and all these guys are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". These young forwards, they know how to bang now, and now they've garnered the experience. You know, I like the addition of Bjorkstrand too. I love this kid. I love the Geekies. I love the one on Boston too. Anyhow, so we gave you the 3 matchups for tonight. Let's take a look at the NHL matchups for tomorrow night. So the Lightning and the Canadiens will resume their series from Molson Center at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Friday night, the Mammoth. That place is going to be Utah hosting their first ever NHL playoff game tomorrow night at 9:30. That's must-see TV. Golden Knights and Utah tied at 1, as is the aforementioned Lightning Canadian series. So the Mammoth will host their first ever playoff game. I'm sure Molson Center in Montreal will be a rockin'. St. Catherine and Crescent Street will be a rockin' tomorrow night. The Oilers and Ducks are now tied at 1. After a 6-4 victory last night for the Anaheim Ducks. So they will resume Friday night from Anaheim at 10 o'clock. I'm going to tell you another thing. The Dallas Stars Minnesota Wild game was just crazy. It looked like Dallas comes out, they're up 2-0 after goals by Rantanen and Robertson, and you're like, wow, I'm shocked. I picked Minnesota. I had a rough day. I went 1-4 in my picks yesterday, by the way, in baseball and hockey. Although I did go 5-0 in hockey just last week. But I had a rough night last night with my picks. I firmly expected Minnesota to rock and roll last night. And it looked like they were going to come back and do so, because after going down 2-0, they surged back to take a 3-2 lead, only to relinquish that with 7 minutes left after a Duchesne tying goal for Dallas, and then Wyatt Johnson in double overtime with the game winner as Dallas steals Game 3 and reclaims home ice in that series. That series is going the distance. I did pick Minnesota in 7. I was surprised that the Wild got that game last night. I am not going to lie. I thought that Minnesota would win that game and eventually win the series in 7. But didn't happen. And that, for you Dallas Stars fans, has got to make you smile, because now you're going to get Rupe Hintz back either in game 3 or Game 4, the fine finish forward, and you'll be healthier, and that will even things out. But I mean, for the Wild, I mean, still watching U.S. hockey star Matt Boldy just dangle through people, one to score a goal, one to set up another goal. He has played out of his mind. So is Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov. Minnesota's got a great team. They got it now. They went to Wallstedt in net. He was solid down the stretch. I didn't really see him give up any bad goals. All the Dallas goals were sweet. both goalies played good last night. Ottinger played well for Minnesota. Now, speaking of goaltending, okay, so Dallas has the 2-1 lead in that series. Switching back to goaltending, I want to comment on the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I don't really know what the hell they're doing, but they still have problems in net. And also, McDavid has been strangely quiet. But I'm going to say this. Their first order of business, and this will eventually be their undoing this year, their first order of business, if I'm the Edmonton Oilers next year, and I'm surprised they didn't go after Bobrovsky at the deadline. I really am. Because, playing, if your goalie's Connor Ingram, I mean, he looked horrible in net. And speaking of horrible, Stuart Skinner turned into Stuart Skinner for the Pittsburgh Penguins last night. As, again, we didn't mention the Flyers take Game 3 4-2 over Pittsburgh last night. That was the other game we had to get to. The Flyers now a commanding 3-0 lead in the Battle of Pennsylvania. Sidney Crosby does not look healthy. The only guy doing anything for the Penguins is Malkin. He scored in just about, I think he scored in every game. He's got 3 goals. He's got 3 goals, 5 points, 3 games. Carlson added a goal for the Pens, but not enough. Not enough. I mean, we know about Porter's 2 goals in the first 2 games. Last night, Trevor Zegras blasted home a freaking rocket one-timer on a power play. The Flyers are getting great goaltending from Dan Vladar, and they're just physically beating on the Penguins. Let's just be honest. They've outshot them in every game, and they're getting the better of the physical play. They're getting the better goaltending, and they're just better all the way around. It's a solid... They have solid control of this series, and they've had it from the drop of the puck in Game 1. 3-0 Flyers over the Pens. So, again, the Oilers, if this is the best that they're going to muster in net, they're going to be in trouble. I mean, Ingram last night gave up 5 goals on 27 shots. And the other one was an empty netter. If that's what... Listen... If that's the best you can muster in net, you're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. Draisaitl and Murphy added goals for the... and so did Zach Hyman in defeat for the Oilers. The Ducks had 2 players with 2 goals each. Cutter Gauthier, who's been fantastic, 3-point night. Jackson Lacombe, U.S. gold medalist defenseman, had 3 assists. Killorn, as we mentioned, the former Lightning player, a 3-point night and just doing everything. The physical play, timely, getting points in timely situations. Definitely a great ad. Paling had 2 goals for the Ducks. Trouba had a goal for the Ducks. So the Ducks take home ice in that series and head back to Anaheim. So we've got Edmonton and Anaheim 1-1. Knights from Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Mammoth 1-1. The Lightning and the Canadiens 1-1. The Sabres and the Bruins 1-1. The Hurricanes up 2-0 on the Senators. The Avalanche up 2-0 on the Kings. The Flyers, as we said, up 3-0 on the Penguins. And the Stars up 2-1 on the Wild. And that is your NHL playoff recap. We are up to date. Let's peek in on the NBA before we get out of here. Tonight, the Knicks are underway playing the Hawks in Game 3. The Knicks are up 9-6 early. The Knicks are one of my picks of the day tonight. Take a money line. It's only minus 120. They're only minus 2.5 at the spread. I picked the Knicks tonight on every damn FanDuel. I took them on DraftKings. I love the Knicks tonight and try to make a little comeback. I also took Carolina plus 1.5 in the NHL puck line. I have Colorado to go up 3-0. I think somehow they'll squeak it out. They've been the better team. I'm taking them. I think they could have won those games if not for Anton Forsberg in net for Los Angeles. I think they could have won those games even worse. But, of course, LA hung right in there. Panarin actually had a big goal, and They could have easily won one of those games, but they weren't outplaying Colorado. And I think that the formula will continue. I think that somehow Colorado will squeak out. That's one of the series I feel will be over in 4 or 5, is the Colorado-LA. But, listen, my word isn't law. Obviously, after last night losing 4 out of 5, the only thing I got right last night was the Yanks. Wow. The Hawks have just scored 7 points in a row, now up on the Knicks 13-9. Again, shows what I know. So I did take the Knicks tonight. I did take the Carolina plus 1.5 in the NHL, and I took the Buffalo Sabres plus 1.5 in the NHL. Those are my 3 picks tonight, if anybody's interested. 9:30, the Nuggets play the T-Wolves. That series is tied at 1. The Cavs play the Raptors at 8. That is a 2-0 lead for Cleveland. The Celtics and Sixers are at Philly tomorrow night, Friday, Game 3, Celts at Sixers. That series is tied at 1. The Lakers travel to Houston for Game 3. Surprisingly, the Lakers up 2-0. Still waiting on whether or not Luka Doncic will return. Probably not till Game 5 or 6. The Spurs, Victor Wembanyama will be a game-time decision. He's dealing with the concussion protocol. They are at the Trailblazers. That series is also tied at 1. That is tomorrow night at 10:30. Saturday, the Pistons at the Magic as that returns to Orlando. That will go to Orlando for Game 3. That series is tied at 1 as Orlando got the split in Detroit. OKC is in Phoenix. They're up 2-0 on the Suns. I expect that series to end in 4 or 5. And that gets you up to date on all your NBA. Anyway, guys, that is it for me. That is what I got for you. We covered a lot tonight. We went over the NFL draft, which is 30 minutes away, and we went over all the NBA and NHL playoff stuff. We got a lot done tonight, guys. To my sports fam and my Canes fam down there, I'm going to actually go check out. I'm going to be in the multi-room tonight watching all the playoff games, but I'm also going to check out the University of Miami Hurricanes baseball at Cal. Actually, it's at the Light. We're home for that game. They face California tonight, UM baseball. That game is just underway. That's it. That's what I got for you guys. I appreciate you all. We got football music heading out as we ready you for the draft 30 minutes away. Fernando Mendoza. Get ready to hear it. He'll be the first pick. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, North American Sports Report, and follow me, Billy DiNapoli, on Facebook and Instagram. I'm out of here.